I love touching base with you, Sandy, because most of the times when I do, it's like you have some of your crystals or stones say hi. You know, they're joining in the experience with us, or
intergalactic beings of multi-dimensional realities. Welcome to channeling.
if we can, I'm going to invite you to reach your hand through and let's connect, Sandy, and you're going to feel what's going on in my heart. If you do that.
Okay.
I'm just feel my hands. Come on, lady. Aw. What are you doing? You're already being a playing trickster.
I'm supposed to do a finger bump and it's not working.
Fist bump? Was that a fist bump?
Oh, wait a minute. It's going the wrong way. Wrong hand. Oh, this one. Oh, now you switched hands. This is what
I know. It looks like I'm trying to punch you. That doesn't work. Here, we're going to do a pinky. Okay.
Time with Sandy Songjoy and Gwen.
Sandy Songjoy and Gwen. I'm just connecting in, Sandy. And you're going to feel what's going on in my heart. A lot happening around my heart. Before we started talking, I was like feeling into my throat and like just almost this guttural expression of wanting to like express love. Just express love and be free from all the if that makes sense. Anyway, so we're here today with our guides, and we're here to be real and to support people who are opening in the depths of all they are, which is many, many, many people. And we're here and just being honest and true in ourselves and just relaxing and chilling with this lovely new guest, Sandy. We invite all of our guides who are in support of this here today. And there's a lovely other guest, Sandra. This is Sandy Songjoy, by the way. The name says Sandra Smith, but it's really Sandy Songjoy, all of you who are wondering. And she's holding a beautiful crystal stone. Tell me about that.
This is an Andara stone.
An Andara stone. And you were telling me about that. And well, I feel it in my throat. I feel her in my throat.
Yes, it's the energy of the stone is primarily a she. The stone has decided it will be with me now. I met it years ago through a friend who had it in their home. A very fifth dimensional high vibe gal. And this year, I had a shift. I feel the fifth dimensional energy in a way I've never before. Fifth dimension is not a place, it's an energetic space, frequency, and so forth. And when my own energies within my own self shifted, the stone spoke to me again and said it was okay. And my friend Jay and I made a deal together, and it traveled to me in the middle of desert Midwest, because these stones love to be by the ocean and so forth, and by whales and dolphins. But I am too connected with whales and dolphins in an energetic way, even though I may not be right next to a ocean. I feel that energy quite often, and I work with that energy relatively often. So here's this one, and also connected to the inner earth and telos and that type of thing. This particular one, for me, has had something of an elemental vibe to it, and there's many more things you can learn about Andara if you just go online. You can purchase one if one calls to you, but it really helps to be in matching frequencies with these stones. The story about these stones is if you just buy one just because you want one. Oh, I just want one. I'm just going to go out and buy one. And if you're fortunate enough to find one out there that you can buy, you can buy it, but it's no guarantee it'll stay with you, because these stones have been known to disappear. Bye. Because it doesn't want to be with that person. It's not a vibrational match. So it'll go, who knows who it goes to or where it goes to, perhaps back to where it came from. I don't know. But that is how it's been explained to me, that these stones can change color at will. These stones can do whatever they want at will. And there are people who have them in their, I'm going to use the word possession loosely, because we don't possess them. They come join us to work together with us in that fifth dimensional energetic frequency space. So that is why I happen to have one.
I love touching base with you, Sandy, because most of the times when I do, it's like you have some of your crystals or stones say hi. You know, they're joining in the experience with us, or you know, have a little say, bringing forward some thoughts or ideas, and it's really, really fun. And I just wanted to honor too the picture behind you that you have up now of the riverscape. Yeah, that's just so cool. I love it. I love it. Love it. Because you are so close to the water and the air, and the kind of the beauty of both of those combined, I think, is really beautiful, as well as the earth. I'm
an earth sign and water sign, so I'm strongly connected to those two things. And air comes in from a different perspective. Yeah.
Air comes in from me. No. I'm also an earth sign. We're earth ladies. We love hanging with each other. I love it. I'm just wondering if you've given, or if this beautiful stone, has given you or has told you a name for her.
Hold on a minute.
So when I'm in her presence, I feel like I'm in an initiation. The last few times I've contacted you, Sandra, I've gone through initiations of epic proportion.
Still not a clear name coming through for me.
Yeah.
We're getting closer, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
It's highly possible, but not necessarily written in stone. That it will have an elemental name. Because my initial feeling from the stone was elemental. In other words, buffet and all that. I felt a strong connection to that with this particular crystal. I mean, there are other things, the whales, the dolphins, all that come into, because again, she's multi-dimensional stone. She's not, like lapis lazuli has its own thing, and the jaspers have their own thing. And by the way, speaking of me being surrounded by stones that you were talking about, there was a time when I was around people that really got into stones like that, but it didn't really do it for me. I loved necklaces, and I had certain pendants that were my faves. They came from different places and things like that, or were given to me. But I always connected with jewelry to some degree, but never crystals and gemstones and stuff. I felt that was for people who were very, very smart and knew a lot about these things, and they knew how to use them and where to find them, and they usually had the money to buy them. Which back in my days, I didn't feel I had that. But I picked up a few here and there, and then when my sister passed, I picked up hers. And hers were these big ones, well,
yeah, show me.
Show you the citrine.
Oh, wow.
Citrine. My sister had this for the longest time, and who knows where she got
those layers. That's amazing.
I know, and every now and again we need to get her in the sun and clean her a little bit because she gets a little dusty. We have a lot of she's around here. We do have he's here as well, but a lot of she's.
Introduce me.
So here we go with the male owl. Here is the male owl.
Yes.
I called it, when I saw it in my friend's shop in a town just 15 minutes from me, when she used to have a shop there. She had so many stones from so many places. People would just go in there because they were just drawn to being in there. Well, this particular one I called Owl. That was when I was into my period of time when I was grasping my UFO connection, my galactic connections, and the fact that owls can be screen memories for galactic connections. And so this one just spoke. A lot of them spoke to me. And this one said owl. Yeah. And the owl said it had to go home with me that day. That day. Come home.
That day. They just start talking to you and you're like, okay.
Yeah. I've gotten at least 2 stones from her of that nature. And this one I believe is a labradorite. All the hues of a labradorite. I don't have that written on the bottom. I had what it was called a long time ago, and then, like so many things, little bits of paper and stuff get lost. And so it has all the colorations of a labradorite. So anyway, owl UFO connection. And this is male.
Male. This is male. I'm curious because, Sandy, I'm curious because I know that the name that you now broadcast to people is Sandy Songjoy.
Yes.
Do each of them have different feeling of song with them? Does that make sense?
Not a direct connection that I'm aware of. That doesn't mean that some of them can't amplify it without my being aware of that.
Yeah.
Most of my song comes from my inner heart, my tiny inner heart. Most of that is from inside me.
Yeah.
Comes from inside. If it's an outside thing, it's a response to something outside, but it's usually an inside thing responding to the outside thing. That's where most of it, whether it be a channeling, light language, or just song joy, transmuting a song, or just playing with a song, or just playing with sound, all comes from my inner self. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. I have discovered that capacity is there to just, it's a yes, and I just got to clear everything out of my way. And I haven't always done that nicely. I'm not always a sweet, nice Sandy Songjoy person.
No.
Yeah, shadow sides exist here too. You may not see them much on YouTube or in my comments, but I'm shadow and light. I'm not all one.
You're multifaceted, just like us all. Just like that rock, and just like that crystal, and just like that stone. a lot of people here might not know you well, but if you've watched season 1 or listened to season 1 of Welcome to Channeling, Sandra has been a guest several times on because she is just dear to my heart and we have so much fun together. She has wandered and traveled paths in the dark and the light and figured out her road, and it's I think that's one of the great things about life is we get to try on these different things and say like, oh, okay, that was fun, but no more. I don't want that anymore. Let's try something different. And today, I think what's calling to me is I am feeling some healing around this Andara stone that gets to occur. And it's pulling me in, lady. And so I was wondering if you want to help guide maybe some of that healing process, because I'm feeling stuff opening in my throat. And for all of you out there listening or watching, this is something to really pay attention to when you feel energy shifts and when you feel maybe an opportunity of something opening, to be with it. And you can open your own healing. You can invite in your own healing. You can open to another aspect of yourself, and bring it in. And so I think today that's what I'm inviting. And Sandy, take it away.
Okay. This is Sandy Songjoy speaking now. And Sandy Songjoy will have to take over because Sandy will have no clue what to do otherwise. Sandy Songjoy in this now moment will say, not to say, but to feel. Miss Andara says, let's feel this opening of Gwen's heart space in a way that she has not yet experienced. And she is a multi-dimensional being of epic proportions as well. And I've had the honor to walk many paths with her for the last 2 or 3 years. Time, not really relevant, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
And just as I was welcomed to walk the path of the Andaras and the inner earth beings, to walk the path of the 5th dimensional energy, that's the joy. When you get to Sandy, now we're going to see if we're going to bring song. Maybe, I don't know. We welcome the audience to sit with us as we do a breathing technique, which I do quite often, which is you breathe in deeply, bringing your air all the way from your lower abdomen up to your solar plexus, which is just below your chest there. And then you'll hold it for a brief time, and then you'll release it, but you'll release longer than you took in. And we'll do that 3 times now, starting with this one.
I'm feeling the energy kind of spread more and kind of be incorporated more within my system. It almost feels like it's interesting because it first started opening and I felt it in my throat particularly, and it feels almost like now I'm going to be offered a new way of speak and part of it is being able to speak clearly, and that energy being in my throat, that truth being in my throat, it feels so nourishing as it's now in the center, and as it's like I feel it in that chakra, and just it's almost like this experience of, well, it's incorporating, but it's discovering and it's opening, making me aware of its presence and how it can be felt there. Wow. Part of it is like, it feels like it's looking for its space. And maybe what I can do is just say, I invite the space for you and your wonder and your light and your beauty to be open in my body and system, for your light and your love to bring and incorporate more healing, more truth, more consciousness and awareness. And I'm open within my system, spaces that have been blocked or have been disengaged and not allowed to bring your intelligence in and to honor it.
Beckons me, beckons me, beckons me.
That's beautiful. As I feel kind of it spreading and opening different areas, I feel shifts and sensations. In some areas, I'm like, come to know this part, and then it's like it comes to meet it and say, oh, okay, space isn't quite here yet for this, but it's found its place in different areas of my system. Sometimes I feel the cutting in half of my system, almost of this one side being more of an energetic expression, another more of perhaps the unconscious that's occurring. And so it's interesting to feel and say, I allow it to enter in what's ready now, but also I allow it to take the time to reveal itself in all levels and what the medicine is in all levels. And I feel it in my heart now. It's settled. Oh, good. Wow.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. So beautiful.
Totally. I feel it generating out of me. I just feel it just flowing. It's like,
and it continues to spread. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. It's so great. Sometimes my guides tell me, well, and other people who've channeled for me, they're like, maybe your lesson is in patience, because I so often I love, I invite things and I'm like, quick, whatever. I feel the shift quick, but it's so beautiful to sit in there and feel this. And I'm feeling the spreading and the intelligence continue to move, continue to expand. First it was from my throat and it was going up to my third eye. Now it's spread down to my heart. And now I'm feeling it going down into my creative center, running down my leg. It's so beautiful.
0 point is what Andaras are all about. Getting your 0 point, getting your system aligned in the 0 point, which means all chakras from the earth all the way up to the star will all now be spinning, cleansed, ready to rumble to go with the rest of your system. Your tiny heart system is activated now. This is Sandy Songjoy now working with the Andara energy. This is not Sandy Songjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And it's not, and it is, yes, it is the energy from the crystal doing it as well. But what's happening is your higher self, my higher self, from within are connecting from within. Most say the higher self is above here somewhere, and I'm not disputing that at all. But for me, the full connection to God's source and all that is, or whatever name you want to give it, comes from within me. I carry it within me. It's in that soul that's housed within my vessel, and it's housed in there, and it's there, and it's why I'm here, why you're here, why we are all here, because our souls carry these. And as we activate and open, then we begin to embody that which we've been brought here to do. And some of us take a long time to discover that, and some of us catch it quickly.
Yeah.
Depending on what our soul decides it's going to do when it got here. Okay, we're going to get activated here. Oh, no, we're going to get activated there. Oh, we're going to get activated a bunch.
We'll just have fun getting activated, however that looks.
There's as many flavors and colors as there are human vessels that carry a soul within, and that came down here to do what we're doing, be what we're being, experience. This plan is about experiential. What's it like to experience being in these 3D heavy bodies on a 3D heavy earth? And I'm just spewing what many others have said. I don't know that I have an original word or original thought. However, how I bring it about is how it originates. It originates in this now moment.
Yes.
That's the originality of it.
And all of this is unique to itself. You know, like none is the same. Of course, everyone's heard you cannot enter the same river twice, but it's
Say that piece again, please.
What was that?
About the earth, that statement you said. Say that again, please.
You cannot enter the same river twice.
Explain that a little bit more.
Because with every moment, the river is new. With every moment, you are new. And with every moment, that experience is something new.
Yes. You're translating using the river as the analogy of the now moment.
Yes.
Because I notice this on many people's channels today. It isn't just your connection or whatever, creating people not being heard or their voices cutting out or whatever. I find with those who are bringing a strong high vibe synergy, a lot more cutouts and can't be heard things. It's like all of a sudden she's speaking and it's like, the energies are strong.
We just can claim it as light language. That's all. We can just claim it as light language.
Okay. Daffy Duck signing off now. Okay. That is the joy and the humor that comes through. See, I'm kind of expressing to you Sandy Song Joy and what all that means. Sandy is maybe a little more of the 3D self. The joy is the humor and the laughter and the things that bring you joy, whether it be through energy or through other auspices. And then there's the song, which is what I did, the light language, or just playing with music of some sort in some way, which I like to do on a regular basis. Not so much on camera, more around home, but starting to do a little bit of it on camera.
I know. I love seeing that you put out some of that.
I'm going to do a shameless plug. My first shameless plug. You can be on YouTube on Sandy Song Joy channel.
Yay! Look at you, Sandy. You said it. I've been nudging her for years, and of course her guides have too.
It's just a tiny little place with some tiny little things that I'm putting together. It's certainly a work in progress. I don't, like so many others I've heard before, I don't necessarily do it for the likes or the whatever and whatever. I do it because they said it's your time.
Yeah.
Get out there and learn what it's like to be doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Boy, here's my learning.
You've been asking for the experience. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah, you and Jay. Just do it. You're not doing it yet. We've been talking about this a while now.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're always doing you.
Yes, or maybe. I'm still in maybe phase, people.
Maybe. We just needed to negotiate a few things, but I love it. I'm just going to touch base with everyone here who's might have felt some shifting within yourself as we've gone through this right now in my body, in my system. I'm feeling this huge, beautiful, almost world energetically, like almost like an egg develop underneath my, my tailbone area. It's really beautiful. It's like it's bringing a whole energetic world down there. And when you open to these things, it's not like you open once. We're multidimensional beings. We have so many different aspects. We have so many different energies. We have so many different things that we can discover about ourselves. And whatever your opening is, make sure to just simply breathe through and find the joy in whatever is being able to be opened in your body and your system. And you can say it even in a way of, I wonder what will be revealed to me. I wonder what new thing I'll feel. I wonder what new sensory experience I'm going to have. I'm excited because I trust this. And you start to touch in and you feel it and you can trust, even though maybe sometimes these openings at first, they might be a little bit uncomfortable in the body. Like I was feeling my throat stretch. I was feeling some uncomfortable emotion. But as I was able to open into it with joy and trust that, and that song helped guide it and move it, it was almost like an exclamation of trust, an exclamation of joy, an exclamation of inviting it into my system. And so these are some things that song can do for us, but even simply the attitude and simply us declaring within ourselves, I trust this process. My guides are here to help direct me into my feeling of wholeness, my feeling of connection, and I'm open to it, and I'm willing to take 10, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever it takes for us to really fully be in that process. And I'm sure I'm going to continue being in that process for a little bit more today because I invite it in. It's really interacting with my creative center. It's like there's this new wonder, there's this new opportunity, there's a new information that's being able to be integrated in there. I was just curious with you, Sandy Songjoy. Do you find that, do you use song in that particular way, or has it helped in transitions or integration for you?
Okay, integrations and transformations. Words.
Yes,
okay.
Words.
How would I process through those?
I'm expecting you to almost say gobbledygook.
It would be a good one. Gobbledygook could be what it sometimes initially can be. It's like, what's that?
Yeah.
Feel.
Listen to those concepts. Do I have to interact with those concepts? No, you don't have to.
I don't even have to fully understand the process in the beginning. I go like, wow, what's this feeling? And this is new. Because my being new to the process is still pretty fresh, especially, although, yes, I've been working in the channeling, connecting with other realms since my work with Jen McCarty back in her transmission work. But the process has always been me making the time and taking the time to find a meditation that fits my world, that fits me, fits for me. And because I've known about meditation for 30 some years, and doing it off and on, and many times going, you should be doing this, but you're not doing this years. We're fully into the integrated where I want to do it. I voluntarily make the time for it. It has become, as I've shared with my daughters, you practice it first. You do it small. Maybe you just do this breath work where you follow the figure 8 up and down for a while. Or I've given them many little tools, and I'm just going to share these here because that's been part of it. I share what's been part of my process. A lot of it has been the breathing and the breathing and the breathing, and taking the time to sit still. It's not an absolute. You don't have, I've done it. I've sat with people and have sat for periods of time meditating and letting the monkey mind do its thing and all. I've gone through all the gamut of that, right? To the point where I found my favorite meditation is to not really think I'm meditating, but to just sit and be quiet in silence. And I've been graced with a home space that allows for a lot of that. And I'm telling you, graced. I've been graced with this place, graced with the quietness that we have here, that
Yeah.
I expand my meditation and my connection in ways I've never thought possible. And I didn't even move here. That was what this was going to be all about. So, yeah, process. So you start small.
Yeah.
You do what you can do for a minute, 2 minutes to 5 minutes, and you expand it or detract it depending on your lifestyle.
Yeah.
But the key is really to make a decision and then act on it. You've decided you're going to meditate. Now, decide for yourself when you're going to fit that into your day, and then start small and build up. Now, if you're a person that does things in a big way, you're just going to do it in a big way. If you're a person that really hesitates to do that and has all that program in there trying to get you to not do it, you may have to start small.
I love that. I want to like segue from that. I want to hop on. I want to latch onto that. And I think something I was just chatting with someone about was really this feeling of gratitude and feeling of just joy. And if you can, when you enter into your meditation, first start it and bring in this joy of like, I'm so happy. I'm excited I get to do this. I'm excited to see. And then at the end, I'm so excited that I did that. I now feel this way. And it kind of helps your mind recognize like, oh, I did, even for a few minutes, I felt a small shift. Even for a few minutes, I have assigned gratitude to this kind of experience of opening. And the more you do that, the more it opens for you, the more satisfying, the more enjoyable it becomes. So,
yes, and that triggered the next step in my meditations, because I was starting to find little small voices that would excuse why I didn't have to meditate, or I would make them as short as possible, you know.
Yeah,
silly little things. Life just trying to get in the way of my being my multidimensional self. And so when you created the 5-minute reboots, that was just anything that's going to take me for 5 minutes. I will make the time for 5 minutes. I'll make the time for 11 minutes. There's this chakra thing that I do on YouTube that's 11 minutes long, and it use singing bowls to tune your chakras.
Yes.
I'll make the time for something like that, and I'll find a way to integrate it within myself. I'll make that time. So it's making the time for meditation. Pardon me.
Yeah. And I think, that's one reason why I made those 5-minute reboots. It's like, there's no excuse. It's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes of your time, and the shifts are dramatic, and you'll feel them.
Or they can be small and incremental, depending on.
Or they can be small and incremental, but for me, they're dramatic. I feel them.
I know, honey. And you'll pick and choose the ones that fit for you the best. I found like a couple of them that really speak to me, and I utilize them. Like, I think there's like 3 of them, but they didn't all fit me. And some I've tried, and I'm like going, not for me. Somebody else, not for me. So I love that you made so many, so you give a different flavor for different people's frequencies, so they can connect with different ones to find ones that fit for them.
Yes.
And seriously, if none of them fit for you, then it's not your frequency. You'll find someone else. You will find.
Yeah.
Because I have experienced this, and I know others experience it too. We find through our energetic selves, find's not the best word. We will match with or reach out, and our energies will draw to us that which is a frequency match.
Yes.
And then we will spend time with those. So if you're in low vibe frequency, you're going to draw a lot of low vibe frequency stuff to you. That's just the way it is. If you're really super, super up there in the multidimensional whatever, and there are those who are expanding. There are small, rare people on this planet that are expanding beyond that. Will find yourself in a minority because you've expanded even beyond us, the fifth dimensional folks. not so much higher. I'm not saying higher. They're just in a frequency that, well, at this point is beyond my comprehension yet. Of course, we read those in ancient texts, but I digress. So yes, so for those out there still feeling their way through the new ones that just activated in these last, whether it was an eclipse or whatever it was where you got activated, or some experience happened since the 2020 thing, that's got you triggered, and you're finding yourself in a whole nother realm of experiencing something, or if you had some kind of galactic experience that's got you going, what?
And it's happening.
Paranormal experiences that you're going, what? And suddenly click, 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 and these things start going ding, ding, ding. And now you're going, I'm what they call an awake person. That's what they seem to be calling us. And so you go out seeking those who match that frequency. And you'll seek them in your life, or you'll seek them on YouTube, or you'll seek them on Rumble, or you seek them wherever they can be found these days. Obviously, a lot of computer places you can go to. Even in VR, at one point, we could actually match with some higher vibe people. I'm not aware of that occurring now, since they've made some changes in VR. The access is not as easy as it was. It used to be the Wild West of VR, but now the controls have stepped in, so who knows? I don't go there anymore because of my own reasons. I'm not saying that VR isn't a good thing for some people, but it's not for me. So, and I don't judge any of that either anymore. I was. I was playing some.
When we all go through those different things, helping us recognize what works for us and what isn't, and it shifts and changes as we in our consciousness change. I mean, hopefully we aren't. Usually, I'm not finding myself staying in the same set of ideas for a long period of time, and I think that's actually a great sign that I'm not, finding myself in any kind of fanaticism. I'm not, having this false crystallization where I'm stuck, in my idea of how things have to be. So I think that's something to watch out for. But for you, like right now, what is your, top way you enjoy this meditation? Because I feel like we're on the strand of meditation idea. What are you enjoying now for yourself that really feels uplifting and helps you move and open, invite the openings in?
All right. Yeah, because I do keep evolving. I'm going to interject something, and then I'm going to jump to that.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's one last thing that wasn't shared with any new folks that might be listening to us, is find a mentor that will help you learn how to protect yourself from energy attacks. Because in the beginning, it depends on where your belief systems lie, of course, as well. But at the beginning, you may find yourself, because you're a high vibe, light on this planet that's just beaming away. Beam me up, Scotty. And I'm like high flying and woo! You're up there flying around in those dimensions, and there's a fourth dimension out there that a lot of people find themselves flying around in. I'm using the term fourth dimension because that's how it's described a lot, but there could be other terms. Then you'll need to be aware of how to keep them from siphoning off of you or bugging you, or you experience this thing and it feels dark, and you're like, and you went from zoom down to boom. Or you're not feeling that high vibey, you're not feeling low vibey, you're just feeling bland. What's going on here? you can have them around you and not even notice. Now these energetic beings of the lower frequency are quite often viewed as bad, sinister, evil. All kinds of words come to mind, and you must clear them off you. And you know, if they're parasitic, you got to get rid of them. And I'm not saying there's no truth to that.
Yeah,
I won't, because it depends on where you're at in things. Okay.
yeah,
And believe me, I was graced with a mentor who taught me how to clear and take care of these things for myself. And I have done so, because occasionally, being the human being that I am, and once in a while my frequency might dip a bit, and I'll, whoop, oh, okay, now I got something going on and they're trying to wreak havoc with my world. Then that's the time for me to take some action. To what I do is communicate with them. You have a choice to go with love, to leave, to depart my energetic space, go to another energetic space, go to another frequency. I don't care, but not here. Set my boundaries in my own little ways.
yeah.
If they don't, and they continue to cause havoc, literally feel them causing havoc in my world. Used my husband one day to attack me, literally emotionally attack me. Okay, not acceptable behavior.
Yeah.
Didn't want to leave, didn't want to stop messing with me. So I have guides and beings that assist in removing them. So, and that can be done, you know, and there are many, many, many people out there who are far more into explaining this and talking about this than me. I'm now at that next level of where I'm supposed to be going with your question, which is where I'm going with my meditation next. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm hearing you say really is to be aware that even in, you know, when we're opening into what was considered these multidimensional or high vibe things, and we're opening to these deeper levels, that we are going to experience some things that may feel unpleasant, and that there are people who can assist us to help us know how to address these things.
Yes.
There'll be different people with different viewpoints, and it's really good to find someone who's discerning, that isn't treating them all in the exact same way, because what shows up can be many different things. And so I think that's one way to really help you identify and find someone who you feel like could really assist you, is to know that they aren't treating something that makes you feel uneasy all as the same exact thing, that they do have some discernment and availability to look into it with curiosity in a neutral space and know how to work with it. So that's something I would plug for that point.
Yes, that's excellent summary of that. And be aware, of course, that whatever you're doing, you're working with your higher self, from within, without, or both, to assist you and guide you in the direction that you need. I had a mentor that got me just so far in that, and then other mentors came in to take me to my next levels. So a lot about if you look at some of the ancient initiation texts, we talk about the different levels, and you go from this level, that level, da. And I'm still very aware of those levels happening with people I know, happening within myself. I don't necessarily go about going, oh, you need levels. No, I just do that for my own personal self.
Yeah.
So where I'm going with meditation now, specifically getting back on that topic, I do like to jump off on other topics. It's really right now, it is really connecting with the inner earth beings and with the rays, ray 1 through 7. And my focus right now is ray 6, which is the golden energy. And I have connected with the first blue ray. Did that a couple years ago. In the last year and a half, I've been working with ray number 7, which is the violet ray. And I'm still strongly connected to that, and the whale energy that I received a whale healing and from there I connected with the Whale Council, and I'm still working with them. But I continue with some of the other things that I was doing. I'm also continuing with some of the indigenous connections that I've made over the last few years.
Yes.
And that's always either staying with some of it. No, it's all shifting. Yeah, that's more true. But now I am connecting with the feeling of the inner earth and its Lemurian connection. I was introduced to the Atlantis connection a couple years ago. Explored that some. Received names associated with that. Sandy Raw was my Atlantean connection.
Sandy Raw. We've played with Sandy Raw before.
Yeah. You and I started hanging out when I was in the Sandy Raw space, or shortly after that showed up. So now it's Sandy Song Joy. It's Sandy with a lighter, high vibe, loving inner earth, connected to the multidimensional, the telos, those things, Lemurian, all those things are energetic connections, and of course, occasionally I do cards.
Yes, the oracle readings. I love that. You know, it's so interesting. I'm feeling this big water connection, and right now it's been raining, and right now it's hailing outside. I don't know if anyone can hear this, but it's been pouring down. Then suddenly now comes the hail. I'm like, what is this weather? It's amazing.
And there are some things going on of an interesting nature south of you as well. So, and we can talk about that off camera at some point.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So,
well, I love that.
yes.
I'm feeling into what gets to happen here. It just shut down. Oh, quiet. We're entering into the quiet. Would you like to? We've been channeling all through this the whole time, a lot. Would you want to leave us with a little message, Sandy, or a little song to end our lovely experience today? And I may end up putting one of my 5-minute reboots at the end of this just to show off, because that's how I am. And also, just everyone, take a moment right now. If you've been enjoying this podcast and what I put up on my YouTube, please subscribe, please comment, please share, because I was just chatting with Sandy beforehand, and I do have some goals of people who I want to invite on and really play with. And if you like how I play, I hope you subscribe and share, because I really want to be having some fun with these people. And the more numbers, the bigger numbers, the more they're excited to be doing this with me. So thank you. Blessings to all of you who do that. And Sandy, what would you like to leave us with today?
You know, this has been the most interesting little adventure since the beginning. When we first did this, you and I and a friend of mine back in, God knows, 3 years ago time, whatever that was, back when I first got introduced to play and thought it was weird.
I said, I invited her, I said, will you come play with me? And she's like, she was thinking it was one thing, but she showed up and she's like, I wasn't thinking it was that.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I'm bringing in, is that message about when you come and visit Gwen on any of her places that she's at, whether it be Facebook or YouTube or Welcome to Channeling or wherever. If you're in Linktree, you'll find it all. Yes. So if you find her, you're like, this is really strange and kind of weird, and your art's kind of strange and kind of weird, or it will resonate with you to the nth degree. But in the beginning, for me, it was kind of like weird. And then, and then, and then, I grew and expanded, and now your artwork's almost normal. Shit. Okay, that's the Sandy coming through. Come on.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Right. Okay, so Sandy Joy is trying to step in and say, and not let Sandy Song Channel come through. So I'm like going, see her? Her.
Yes.
I still
So
call her.
he's
her.
holding up the Andara,
So
the Andara crystal.
From yes. Really welcome yourself to these channelings here. Welcome yourself to all of the channelings that Gwen has done on her channel. Don't you love the replay words?
Oh yeah, there's a reason for it.
Bring yourself to something that is beyond your belief systems, that challenges your belief systems, that could seem a little strange at first. Just challenge yourself to allow yourself to be open to what the energy has to offer. And all of these channelings have some wonder. There has been some, the early channelings were discussions on their own. And if you're into relationship issues, there's some really fine discussions on those in the early Welcome to Channelings. And there is some interesting little explorations. So it's Welcome to Channeling is not, just what we do here. And it's not some, oh, you're bringing in some awful evil things and they're telling you these awful evil things and you think they're being fun. That you can have channelings that come in that aren't so true channelings. This is if you come to Welcome to Channeling, I'm not just shamelessly plugging this. I'm saying this is.
You're being so sweet.
Okay, so I'm somewhat shamelessly plugging this.
Yes.
But I must say that Gwen and myself have been exposed to channelings prior to our experiences. Welcome to Channeling. I will say for myself, I was introduced to channeling back in the 1990s with a local group in a state that I was living in. And there was a splinter group from the Urantia group that did channeling. So actual live channeling in front of me and experiencing it and seeing it and me almost doing it back then was when I was first connected to channeling and began to notice the difference between those fear-mongering monstrous energies compared to the more loving, informing you from the multiverse energies. And we had a completely different perspective on what that meant back then, because then the channelers that were coming through were teacher channelers. They said they were coming to teach us back then in the 90s. And then from there, I expanded to meeting some people here, but I didn't really fully connect back into channeling itself, except when I connected with Lee Harris.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to drop some names here.
Yeah.
Connected again when I connected to Kyle's thesis work.
Yeah.
Now, again, I knew people long before these people. I read books and experienced it, right? Ramtha. Oh, my God. Ramtha became quite a thing. But in the early days, she was on the cutting edge at that time.
Who was that?
Ramtha.
Ramtha. Okay.
Ramtha. Yes. I've forgotten the name of the gal that was channeling her. I'm sorry to say. But if Ramtha. R-A-M-T-H-A, I think that's how it's pronounced. The early workings of Ram. Now, that was the channeled being.
Yeah.
The name of the gal doesn't come to mind right now. She's blonde. That's all I can remember right now. So what I'm saying here is and I guess what Andara is having me bring out here is, I guess, my channeling about channeling. I have channeled the indigenous. I have not put it on my YouTube yet. Got to do some cleanup before I do that. And some of it's really lousy audio, so some of it won't be able to go on there. But I have been channeling. I started with channeling the indigenous primarily, and then I branched out from there.
Yeah. And that's one way that you and I connected really deeply, is because the indigenous
Yes.
went through both of us. We both channel deeply.
Yes.
The deep
For
connection.
me, that came from my roots. I was born and raised in an area where Chief Black Hawk, Southeast Iowa, Mississippi River, all along the river, Indians. Yeah, oh, sorry, use that term. Pardon me. Indigenous.
Yeah.
Try not to use that term anymore. It's so 20th century. So it so doesn't really describe who they truly are anyway. And the Cahokia Mountains has revealed a great deal even more about the indigenous and their connections to something even more than just being indigenous. Really, the connection to indigenous has been growing and shifting and changing as well. And the channeling I really am speaking about the different kinds of channelings that have been happening. I guess my message wasn't so much a channeled message, but a message about channeling, and it's, now I might bring that in, and it's it is fully, our best word right now is multidimensional. I haven't found one that fits quite yet, and I'm big at words and their meanings and how they fit, and I try to use them mindfully.
Yeah.
I don't try anything. I use them mindfully.
Yeah.
So they're all, I am now surrounded by everybody. I literally.
This is so great. You know what?
They're all here saying, yes, Sandy.
What I'm feeling is that, yeah, this multidimensional nature, it's like there's all these voices, there's all these aspects. It's like us being the crystal and the gem, just like we started, you with the stone. We are the crystal, we are the gem, we are all these multifaceted parts of us being able to speak through and speak to us. And when we open in channeling, I think a key note is that we listen to one facet, but that one facet isn't the answer to all. That one facet is one aspect, a voice that we get to understand and know and integrate. And we open to all different kinds of facets, so we see the full view, right? And there may be some really dominant, amazing people who channel specific things that are keynotes. They're keynotes that we get to understand. But it's also one thing to remember when we speak about channeling, we can use it in a helpful way of integration and honoring our multifaceted natures, or we can cling on to it like anything else and put responsibility on that as the answer rather than the responsibility on ourselves for being the answer. And I think this is a part of what accepting and seeing into this multidimensional nature of all that we are is. And when we enter into channeling in that way, we can do so and recognize that they're all of us, but we're all together as one. I'm here channeling.
I know it doesn't take but 2 seconds for them to all shut up and start wanting to talk. And that I love. I do love that, actually. Each of us will grasp that even as we speak, the way I'm speaking right now, there will be words and terms that'll come out, and I'll know they're all part of that channeling aspect of me as well.
Yeah.
Like you said, some of us are really attached to, some people in the truther, galactic, high vibe, spiritual, are attached to their truths, their beliefs. But I've been given, okay, that's my okay, so some of my ancestral voices and intonations will come through when I'm talking that way.
Yes.
Because I also channel the ancestrals as well through my different vocals that I use, whether it be German or whatever.
Yeah.
Or a lot of my old Southern sounds will come through, old Midwestern twangs. So yeah, we will. We can be fully attached to these and have a real hard time not doing so, and we'll create groups around those attachments, and
yeah,
and it'll be all wonderful and light. And the beauty of it is the purpose behind it is all healing, all welcoming, all meant to be here.
Yeah.
Nothing I say is meant to be denigrating or down-putting or anything else. And if it's taken that way, I do so apologize, because it's not meant to be that way. Because I'm very much a part of a lot of these groups.
Yeah, yeah, and ditto for me. Because I have my loves.
Yes, I love to join other human beings, human souls on this planet in our journey. And truthfully, my favorite group is Journey to Truth, because it is so multidimensional. It started out one thing, and it's morphing and becoming such a beautiful thing, expanding and expanding. Now, there's plenty of other topics we can explore and have.
I'm sure we will, Sandy. I have such a love for you. I'm sure we're gonna hang out all kinds of times and explore all kinds of things. But I want to thank you for your willingness, because I was feeling a need, with all these new guests that I've had. I really wanted to just feel like, man, I just want to sit and relax and really do the thing that I love to do.
Yeah.
And like, this is Gwen, this is more Gwen. So I love that we could spend some time together and just do our thing, enter in and open and see what's there, what's ready to bloom for us, what's ready to open, what new view we get to see into. And I thank you, Sandy, for doing that with me today. And I'm sending good vibes and love to all of you out there in my Soul Play family. Make sure to subscribe and like, and we'll be seeing you soon on Welcome to Channeling.
Enjoy the exit. It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Click the link below to receive your very own free Soul Play meditation, reboot, or soul song. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Welcome to Channeling. Till the next episode, own your stage and play on. Hot Muffin Media.